Turtle Beach, the once great company that stood amongst all others in the audio gaming industry as a god amongst men, has decided to jump into the controller arena. But all I do know is that in the past few years, Turtle Beach's quality has dropped significantly. We are talking about the Turtle Beach Recon wired controller. I want to start off by saying that, like, initial impressions is when you pick this controller up, it feels like a Mad Catz controller. It does. It feels like a PS2 or Xbox original, or any of those controllers you'd see at your friend's house that they'd hand you and they'd have the original controller they got in the box and they'd be like, oh yeah, let's play. It's really light, and it being wired, of course, that's what you expect. There's no batteries in there, but the plastic itself does feels like a sub $30 controller. It really does. One of the things that they're marketing is that they have this Recon pad for like sweat reduction on your palms. All it does is just cut out where like the little line is in the controller. So like the little line in the controller to stop the sweat from building up there, which normally it's nasty, but it builds up on the sides. I really don't understand that. But I mean, that's kind of all I have to say about like the actual ergonomics of the controller. That's bad. I truly like this controller as far as feel. Now, again, I said it feels cheap. It does. It feels like the plastic feels cheap. But when you're using the controller, the rumble is so much more like substantial because the plastic's cheaper. The rumble's like a lot more like heavy. And I like a heavy rumble. I love feeling the controller move when I'm playing games. Another thing that's really cool is the sticks on the controller have these like grippy dots. And there's also like pads on the bottom which can remount and also have sticky dots. So you get the sticky dot controllers and they feel great. And the way I hold my controllers, I always have like hands up like right here. I always keep my other hands here. I don't normally play like this. It just feels uncomfortable for me. So I like having these here. I like having the triggers here. It just makes things easier for me. I like the grippy dots. I'm not losing myself or my place on my controller. It is modeled in the Xbox Series kind of design with the D-pad. And I know this is like the most important part, but the audio controls on the top. So as you guys could probably remember back in the day when the Xbox One first came out, you need to buy that little adapter. It fit on the bottom of your Xbox One controller. And then that adapter just stopped showing up because they put a headphone jack on the bottom of the controller like a year and a half later. This actually puts the adapter back, but it puts on the top of the controller. I'm guessing the reason why is because Turtle Beach also came with an adapter, and then the Turtle Beach adapter just disappeared because like people were like selling them for like $100. But they put it on the top mainly, I think, to like avoid like patent issues. For the most part, I like this controller with the headset features because you have the options for superhuman hearing, EQ. It only turns on when the controller's like the headset's plugged into the controller. The volume on this thing is impeccable. It's clean. It's very, 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 very clean. Very clean. The chat light and the volume light glow the more you press the button. So if you want to know if it's too loud or if it's too soft, or can it go up, or is it you or is it them, the controller tells you at all times. You can cycle through the superhuman hearing and the what is it? There's superhuman hearing, and then there's the bass boost. You can cycle through those anytime. I am not a fan of the fact that the light doesn't glow. The Xbox light when you turn on doesn't glow. That kind of made me a little confused because, I mean, it's literally just a light. As far as the cable is concerned, it's a 10-foot cable. It's cool, I guess. I mean, again, I'm just not a fan of the fact that like when you're playing the games with this controller and you're like getting excited and like you made a good kill and you raise your hands up because we live in a society where controllers are wireless. They've been wireless since the Xbox 360. Now, again, I hate bringing up the wire aspect of this controller because it's not really Turtle Beach's fault for it being wired. It's really Xbox and their patent structure that makes it so all the controllers that come out, other than like Scuff, because they're willing to pay the price for it to be wireless, have to be wired because it just costs too much money to get Microsoft to approve a wireless controller. So this controller, which by the way, the price of the controller is in and of itself just, I'm gonna get to it in a minute, but it's nuts. But the idea that like this controller could be wireless is so far outside the means of whatever I was willing to pay for this controller that I have to accept it. I appreciate Turtle Beach trying this. I love seeing new controllers come out. I love seeing what companies will do. Now, like I said before, the problem with Turtle Beach, the biggest problem I have with Turtle Beach is the quality over the past few years has dropped pretty significantly. Now, this is the first Turtle Beach headset, the Recon 500s that I purchased to do the review. This is the first Turtle Beach headset that I've owned, and I gotta say, like, it's really good. It's really good, especially with the controller. It sounds great. Like, it sounds really good. I was playing Halo. I could hear, like, you know, the trees, the leaves, you know, the pollen, all that stuff. Like, everything that the game designers wanted me to hear, I could hear it. And that was before I turned on superhuman hearing. So when I did that, it was a whole new world. I mean, I could hear brutes and everybody around me. It was, you know, 3D audio all the way. I could hear footsteps, the whole nine. The main problem I have is that how can I recommend this controller to you, knowing that it costs $60? Yes, it costs $60 to buy this controller. Now, I got it on sale for $50, but do you know what was also on sale for $50? You know what's on sale right now for $40, actually? I'm sorry, if you have an Xbox One controller that's wireless, that's currently on sale for like $43 in most places. Now, normally it's $60, but normally it's $60. This controller's normally $60, it's on sale for $50. I can't justify that at the regular price. I can't even justify it at the sale price, because $10 gets you a wireless controller with a headphone jack that, if you know yourself and your audio levels, you can tune those before you jump into the game. Yes, it makes so you have to like stop the game, pause it, you know, all that stuff, just to hear your teammates. You know, it is like a menu system at that point. And this controller does make, like, I'm talking about the Turtle Beach controller. The Turtle Beach controller does make it easier for you to move about the cabin as far as like your audio quality, but you're really not moving anywhere with this controller the way I would want myself or most people to move, as far as being able to hear, because you're focusing on hearing. This is a chat adapter like problem. This is make another chat adapter, charge $40. I would rather that, because then it makes sense, because then I can add it to my headsets. I mean, and again, you don't need a Turtle Beach headset to use this controller. I need to very, very clearly specify that. You can use it with any headset. The problem is, if you're investing into this controller at that price point, you probably have an okay headset. You probably can invest in a pretty good headset too, and you're choosing to skip the regular controller for this controller. I actually like this controller a lot, and it kind of sucks that I have to sit there and say this, but I would not recommend this controller to anyone who's looking for a new controller. I would not recommend this controller to anybody who's looking for a second player controller, because how often are you going to need a second player controller that you can hook up headsets to, that's $60, that, you know, would make sense to not buy the wireless controller option instead of it. There's no situation where that would make sense. Who is this controller for? Honestly, that was a question I had to ask myself when I'm doing this, and then I had to think about it. This controller's for people like me who are stupid enough to buy it because it says Turtle Beach on it. And I'm like, oh my god, Turtle Beach! So I'm a fool. I'm a fool, and I'm cool with that. I'm cool with it. 10-foot cable, get to play my games. I'm cool with that. But I'm never gonna use this controller beyond this review and a couple more times. I probably won't use the controller for like 4 more times. I probably use it 4, maybe 5. I'll give it 5 times in my entire life. I wouldn't even hand this controller to somebody I wanted to beat in a game just because the excuse, dude, hand me the second player controller. Turtle Beach is, again, I am super impressed with their audio quality. Like, I am. If you guys want to see me make an audio, like a review of their headset, I'll definitely do it. That headset's pretty cool. I'm actually really excited that I have it. But this controller's dumb. Like, it really is. I like it. I think it's cool for me. If you guys want to spend $60 on a controller for better audio for games that's wired, I mean, go for it. Like, I can't tell you no. It does feel good in the hand, and I do think that there is someone out there, but I would say 95% of people who play video games don't need this controller, and there's 4% of people who could buy this controller specifically because they care about game audio and game audio only, and they're okay with the wire, and they're okay with the, you know, kind of cheesiness of the controller, and they're just okay with it not being premium. And then there are people who can afford this controller easily and don't want to buy the the Razer Wolverine controller that's got the same features on the bottom as this. This controller doesn't have a home, and that's why I can't recommend it. because there's only 5% of people I can recommend it to, and 4% of those people, and like of that 5%, 4% would probably not buy this because they'd probably spend the extra, what is it, $30 to get the headset on sale, which is always on sale. You always find it on sale somewhere. And I really wanted to, like, I really did. I don't know if this review came out cynical. I don't know how it, you know, I'm gonna find out when I edit it, but I really wanted this controller to come out on top. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Who is it for? All right, well, guys, if you like this review, if you bought this controller and you are the type of person it's for, let me know in the comments below. Throw a like on there if you made it through all the way. I appreciate you, and make sure you subscribe. But overall, skip it. All right, my name's Vaughn from 4-Player LAN Party. Peace. Ooh, this controller is a dub. This controller is a dub. It's so chinzy and it's so cheap, but the button, yeah.